Hello, and welcome to the Weekly Scroll Podcast. My name is Ryan.
And I'm Tetsuo Oshima.
And today we are going to be looking at PSYKERS from Logan Dean. This is a sci-fi action role-playing game of psychic misfits run amok, based on or inspired by Scanners and Firestarter, which I love. Also gives me really hardcore episode 1 of 𝗣𝗦𝗬𝗞𝗘𝗥𝗦 vibes.
I have not seen all three of those things you just named.
You've never seen any of those things? Oh, okay. Well, Scanners is amazing. Is Scanners a Cronenberg movie? I don't know if it is.
There's some head exploding in Scanners, right?
Yeah, dude. If they did a remake of Scanners, I'd be so happy.
No, they shouldn't remake stuff like that. They'll fuck it up.
No, they really do, because the effects on it are really terrible. It's a great movie, though. It is Cronenberg. I need to see more Cronenberg. And then Firestarter is the only good thing that Drew Barrymore ever did. She was also like 12. And then 𝗣𝗦𝗬𝗞𝗘𝗥𝗦 is weird.
Yeah, it's an anime. I'm familiar with it.
Yeah, the first episode's brutal, but she's got like this split personality, and it's very weird because she's kind of like a little girl, and there's weird sexual stuff. But I mean, there's no but. I mean, also anime does that a lot, and they should stop. But anyway, PSYKERS from Logan Dean, fantastic game. So I have the physical here. This is currently on sale right now at Space Penguin Inc. What I also have right here happens to be the Chase version from Space Penguin Inc. I don't know if you guys, if those in the stream can see, it is a pearlescent shiny cover. I don't know if it's coming through very well in podcast land. It's a very like pinkish pearlescent shiny cover. It's got purple stitching on the side. It's absolutely stunning. There's also like a nice texture to it that's different than the regular one. This is fantastic. This is the Chase version of the game from Space Penguin Inc. Chase as in, you know, like how Funko Pops have chases and shit. But I absolutely love, and then the interior writing on the inside is like a silver. But with PSYKERS, especially with the normal looking at the physical still, there is this wraparound, and I gotta say, I love this like wrap. Oh, you know what? You know the wrap on the like, do you see this that you have on your book?
Yeah. Yeah.
That is the whole cover of this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's what it is.
I just like the band. Like, I think it's a cool thing to have on your.
Oh, no, never mind. It's not. It's the same kind of texture, but imagine it's slightly pinker.
Ryan, you're confusing all of us.
Pearlescent-y. Anyway, it's dope. But yeah, I think it's fantastic because if you take it off, you get the cover of the PDF, which we'll get to, which has the like WB project codename Basil underneath it. But I love this strap. I know that the original prints of the company have it. For those out in podcast land, it's like I don't know, it's bigger than a ribbon. Just look at the game. It's fantastic. And
it's then this takes place in like the company like universe, you know?
Yeah, the mega core situation. You also get in the physical, you get 3 cards, which are your test subject cards, which are basically your character sheets. And each one on the back has the 3 different abilities that you get in the game that we'll talk about soon. So that's really cool. And I also love that in the back of the zine, the last 2 pages are those things, the character sheets in those, and they're cut-outable or printable from the PDF. So that is the physical. Fuck, I need more coffee. Anyway, yeah, so that we're going over PSYKERS. PSYKERS is great. Before we get into PSYKERS, because it's a pretty light game, we've been doing just 2 fucking mini episodes lately, huh?
Yeah, quite a few episodes. They've been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun, and like I look forward to like, you know, the next month. Essentially, we're gonna have a shit ton of episodes. And it's been a blast, but it is nice to sit down and be like, we're gonna do a little zine, have a little short episode. It's also cool this just came out, and we're both big Logan Dean fans. And I will say that when we get into the book, one of my favorite parts is the portrait of Logan Dean on the first page. It's really good. Yeah.
So this month alone, we've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is our 13th episode this month.
Holy shit.
and we have at least 2 more this month. So we'll be doing 15 episodes this month. And just as of right now, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 planned for next month. And we're probably scheduling 4 more. So I think we'll do 17. So in the first 2 months of 2024, I think we're going to have 30 plus episodes. Kind of crazy.
Yeah, kind of crazy.
Yeah. Well, and so why the fuck are we doing this to ourselves? It's ZineQuest.
It's ZineQuest. Woo!
Yeah, ZineQuest. So that's coming out. So a lot of what we're going over is ZineQuest projects that are coming out in February. Some of them have already launched. Some of them are launching very soon. And as we do episodes throughout the month, especially the Thursday, this is our primetime, current, permanent, for now, time for reviews, and we're going to do everything we can not to miss those. We want to do every Thursday, no matter what else we're doing. We want to make sure we get a review all year. I want to hit 50 reviews this year. So every week we're going to try to go over and remind you all of the ZineQuest projects that are out that we talk about, and some of the cool ones that are going on, so that we can actually promote ZineQuest. There's not a lot of promotion for ZineQuest out there right now.
There's really not. I'm actually looking right now. I'm like, has Kickstarter even like
They announced it. Yeah.
Okay.
But you know. I don't know if Zemo is still a thing, but I haven't really seen anything for that.
I looked for Zemo stuff earlier. I looked for Zemo 2024, and I found like people posting like stuff on Twitter and shit, or but yeah, I don't know what happened with Zemo.
Whatever. So it's ZineQuest / cool projects in February. It is just a TTRPG month. For stuff to come out. So there's Ozo. We were like, whoa, Ozo's not here. We can't do the episode, but there he is. #1 fan. So anyway,
we're Ozo's #1 fans, I think is what you meant to say. It's
exactly. So focusing in. The projects that are currently funding right now that we want to remind you of that you should definitely go check out. First is Tacticians of which is on itch right now. It's slow funding. That is from Christian Sorrell, 𝗣𝗦𝗬𝗥𝗦. That is the tactical fantasy heartbreaker that they put out. It's awesome. We did a whole episode on that. Don't know what number. Check it out. It's in the last 10 that we've done. It's great. Love Christian. Love the game. It's really neat. Excited to see it. Excited to see it. So it was itch funding for $1,000, and it's already up to 2,300. So we're already past the second goal. And it's going to keep itch funding in the Wolves Upon the Coast style that Luke Gearing has pioneered, in that you can get it for the current price for the rest of the month, I think. And after that, as content is added, the price will slowly go up. So I highly recommend grabbing it now. It's really good. There's already been an update since the drop. Check that out. We also have Tomb of 1,000 Doors, which is the Mouse Ritter Mega Dungeon from Matt Morris of Mana Dawn Games.
And
the entire people. Mouse Ritter community. Yeah, like 30 fucking people. Fantastic project. That's super worth grabbing. It's already at like 65K, which is insane. But very, very excited for that. And Matt Morris, fantastic friend of the show, Mana Dawn, awesome human being, really great.
Yeah, really just great person.
Yeah, all these people, are great people. Greenhorns from Marco Serrano. We did part 2 of our Greenhorns AP like a day or two ago, and I've just forgotten to put it out. So expect that dropping sooner than later. That's funding right now. It is funded. It still has like almost 3 weeks to go. The dangerously fast weird space RPG, the Together We Go hack, really fun, fantastic. The art is amazing in that. Definitely want to check that out if you want some weird space stuff.
You can watch us get our second TPK on stream. We're up to 2 now. So
yeah. It's not out there yet, so you're hearing it first from us. We all fucking died.
We all died. So
yeah, great game with Adam Vass. Always love, Adam Vass Stan Podcast Day. We love to have them on the show, and you'll see more of them coming up. Also go check out Bloodborg. Is it Bloodborg? It's called Bloodborg, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's called Bloodborg. Yeah.
The gruesome witchy Merkborg. I'm so excited for that one. Like, if you're gonna do Merkborg, go hard like that. Godspark from 𝗣𝗦𝗬𝗥𝗦. I got to sit down with 𝗣𝗦𝗬𝗥𝗦. They're the creator of Also, the game Sprinkles is missing, as well as a lot of solo stuff, Cyborg stuff, Mercborg stuff, a little bit of everything. They have a big catalog already. And a lot of it is just fantastic. Sprinkles is Missing is a super cute family adventure. I would definitely run the shit out of that for the homies. You basically go into a mystical wood to hunt the missing unicorn, who is the mascot of your magical elementary school. So it's cute. But they're funding right now a game called Godspark. It is a solo pen and pencil adventure game of dead gods and reborn saints. Sounds fantastic. You basically go try to get the god sparks out of the corpses of fallen gods.
Just like real life.
Yeah, just like real life. Sounds dope. And they were fantastic to have on the show.
What a great pitch too.
Right? How sick is that?
It just sounds really cool. So
yeah. And then I think the last one for right now that's actually currently funding and is also funded, but obviously, give them more of your money, is Runecairn Warden Saga Remastered from Colin Lasor of By Owns Beard. So we did a review of Warden Saga in the past. We've had Colin on to chat in the past, did we?
Yeah. So we reviewed Warden Saga on episode 25. Colin came on episode 52.
52. Yep.
And then 3 days ago.
Yep.
4 days ago? I don't know.
Close enough. SideQuest 6.
SideQuest 6. Colin Lasor ran Ryan, I, and the illustrious, legendary John Davis of Civid Sanctum through an adventure, and it was a blast.
Yeah, super good time. Randomly generated cave. Yeah. Krug. Doesn't matter. He's fucking dead.
I don't learn trolls' names.
Yeah.
So.
Super great. The cave was all generated from stuff in the game. It is funded, currently still funding. Definitely go check it out. I mean, everything Colin does is fantastic. They're a fantastic human being. And the Norse Souls-like TTRPG Runecairn Warden Saga Remastered looks fantastic. And Runecairn Warden Saga by itself is fantastic. So this is not a 2E. It's just a kind of a cleanup of some extant stuff and coming together of some rules that were added with the bestiary and a fresh coat of paint with some new art and a new cover and everything.
Some new art.
Yeah. New Crom cover. I'm excited to have both of those.
Crom does the graphic novel The Bird King, which I don't know if you've seen.
I think I've probably seen it on I follow them, so I'm sure I'm seeing it in passing. But
it's pretty cool. So.
Yeah. So that's kind of the recap of the projects that are going on right now. Like I said, every week we'll just, touch on those, remind you that you should go give them your money because they are worth it. And the projects they make sound cool. And yeah. And now why don't we review a game? Why don't we look at PSYKERS?
Let's fucking I know we got deep. It's gonna take us a few minutes to get through this. So.
Oh yeah, wait. I had a whole page up here and I got rid of it. So PSYKERS, wow. I know, right? PSYKERS, Logan Dean itch. I'm trying to be better about actually introing these games a little bit more. God, I need to start taking my fucking Adderall before we get on these. So PSYKERS, Behold the Future. So this is a game that originally came out in January 22nd of 2023, so literally just a few days past a year ago. They updated it from V1 to whichever version we have now. V4. It's V4, May 5th, 2023. And now, like I said before, you can get the digital and PDF on Space Penguin Inc. The PDF is free on Logan Dean. It's not free. It is pay what you want, so pay for it. It's worth it. From the Logan Dean's itch page, which is mega-corp.itch.io/PSYKERS PSYKERS, but grab all the Mega Core stuff. We've already reviewed the company from Logan Dean here on the show. We've talked about Wuhan Baxter. So this does take place in the Wuhan Baxter universe. Super excited to have this. Can't wait for a reprint of the company. Super excited that I have PSYKERS already, which is great.
Yeah. Also, what a great concept that I think people should do more is they establishing a game universe and just keep making new games within your same universe. I'm the moment first page, because it talked about Wuhan Baxter, first page we'll get to, I was like, oh, dude, it's still set in universe. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, it's really great. Let's kick over to it real quick. And so you immediately start with that WB Wuhan Baxter logo, which is dope. Oh, no. we start with this.
Yeah.
Which is the cover of the book. So I'm actually going to read the description off the itch page because it's fucking dope. It says, "Behold the future. You are a test subject." Is this in the game?
Uh-huh.
No. You are a test subject in an experiment that has unlocked the hidden power of your mind. You have escaped and they are chasing you. You will never go back and you will never give up. The only choice is to fight. PSYKERS is a sci-fi action role-playing game of psychic misfits run amok for 1 to 4 players, inspired by scanners and Firestarter. Players portray escaped test subjects with incredible powers on the run from the powerful mega corporation 𝗣𝗦𝗬𝗞𝗘𝗥𝗦. This game can be played solo or one player. Or one player can take on the role of the game manager, controlling non-player characters and enemies and steering the narrative. The game is meant to be played in a single session with minimal time passing between encounters. So it definitely gives you that little bit of bottle episode feel, but I feel like you could easily adapt it into more of like, not necessarily here open world, here's encounter, here encounter, more of just like, oh, you were in a building, they all got to you, get out of this building again kind of thing, like a series of really shitty encounters. And you could also slow down the progression. But anyway, so front cover, as we said, for the front cover of this, once you remove the strap banner situation, has it on there. It is WB Project 0917894, codename Babel Serum Test Lot 13. I love that right off the bat. Yeah. And again, love the WB internal use only. I love
it is a really funny detail. It's like, no, internal use only, like very, it holds up this motif of like this horrifying corporate entity.
Yeah. Much like how the company was written, it's written as like a game guide, but also with enough of this, like, this is for internal employee handbook, manager manual. That's what they're called. So I love that. So PSYKERS, written and developed by Logan Dean, art by Alex Mitchell. Content warning: it is intended for mature audience, explores themes of violence, mind control, body mutilation, violence against animals, psychological abuse, torture, captivity, suicide, and self-harm. Yeah. And then, like you said, that great shot of L. Dean, head of research. So, welcome, test subject introduction. On behalf of everyone at Novarium Pharma and our parent company, 𝗣𝗦𝗬𝗞𝗘𝗥𝗦, we are so excited to welcome you as a clinical test subject in Project Babel. We are pushing the limits of the human mind and body and are confident that you, our incredible test subjects of Lot 13, will lead us to a new frontier of discovery and possibility. Please report to your administrator to begin your trial. So, yeah. Another little breakthrough in the beginning here talks about like what it is. You know, it's a game of awesome power and over-the-top violence. Big play, play big, play loud, play dangerous, and keep while still keeping other players' boundaries in mind. Love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is like there is this propensity or like this possibility of these like massively violent moments in this game. Yeah. And I genuinely think that they're like very like potentially hilarious or like very anime-esque moments, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Seriously, you should just watch the first episode of 𝗪𝗛𝐿, and you're gonna be like, oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I will. I'll watch it right now. Keep going. I'll watch it. I'll start it.
Yeah, cool. All right. Well, the game is only 7 pages long, so we'll be done with it before you finish the episode. So, yeah, trial program Lot 13, report table of contents. You have a welcome, you have the procedure, subject intake, the 3 types of abilities you have, and then the demonstration module, which I really like. And I love that at the bottom of each, there's like the WB project report footer at the everything. Like they did a really good job of throwing that in. So we hit the procedure, and I when I was reading this, I brought up the company too, because even though it takes place in the same world, and I would say it's similar but different, and I really like that. I expect, honestly, when I picked it up, the first time I read it, I expected it to just be the company, like, dice rolls with maybe something added, and it's not. It's similar, but it's different.
It's similar. It still revolves around D10. And I think there's a couple other similarities as well, but yeah, it is different. It's its own thing.
Yeah. So so the dice roll is it's a D10, like you just said. If a subject has a relevant trait, they may add +1 per trait level to the roll. So in this one, it's never going to not bother me that that's a 0 at the top instead of a 10. But 4 levels, there is 0 or 10, which is I'll say 10. It's a success, and you can reduce stress by 1. 6 to 9 is a success. 3 to 4 is a fail, and you take 1 stress, and 1 to 2 is a fail, and you take 2 stress. Now compare that to the company, which is again similar but different. So in the company, there is a critical failure possibility, so there isn't one in PSYKERS. So there's a crit fail at 1, and then 2 stress and a burnout, right? So there's no burnout in PSYKERS.
Right.
2 to 7.
If you fail, they're the kind of like burnout in this one is things go wildly crazy bad for your character through its own power.
So it's 2 to 7 is a failure with +1 stress. 8 to 9 is a success. And then 10 is a success with -1 stress. So it's the windows for success, I think, are bigger in PSYKERS, in that it's pretty much just 8, 9, and 10 in the company, but it is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in PSYKERS.
And that kind of makes sense because this has much more of that, like, I don't want to say action movie type vibe, but this is like you're like a volatilely, like, powerful, like, psychic, essentially, test subject. So yeah, it makes sense that success is more likely.
Well, yeah, because also it's pretty much your only ability for the most part is your mental ability versus the other one that has like multiple stats and things and stuff like that. So, and more ways to kind of like add points to it. So I do like like you just said, I like that you have these powers, you get to use these powers, and you're using them, allows more freeform success. Well, especially because it leans into the fact that it could be a solo game. So like failure is less fun, I guess. So powers. So there are 3 powers, right? You can utilize the powers at any time. When a power is used, the subject takes stress equal to the power level. So we'll get to that. So there's ways to you get stress even when you succeed, right? Like so it's and when you fail. So I think that's the other part of it too, is that you gain stress all the time, pretty much. Losing control. After using a power, the subject rolls 2d10. If they roll below their current stress level, they lose control, dealing damage to the nearest person or destructible object. And if no one's present, they deal it to themselves. And power levels 4 through 5 always deal damage to the subject. So we'll get to the power levels on the abilities there in a second. And then subjects always act first, followed by enemies. Attacks always hit. And subject damage is determined by power level, which is D10. So depending on what your power level is, you pretty much only have one thing that you can do, which is use your power at the current level that it's at, and you do damage equal to D10 times that current power level. So that's the other thing about having a bigger success pool, is like it always hits, and you always do pretty much just like one thing, like at least when you need to roll dice versus like a narrative. And then enemy damage is determined by attack plus the number of D10. So we'll get to that. And then death, if reduced to 0 body, trigger power level 5 before vaporizing. And that's pretty much the entire rules of the game right there. Yeah.
That's it. We're done.
Yeah. I mean, we're 2 pages into 7 pages. So yeah, we're just about. So subject intake, you create a subject. Basically, you are part of lot 13, these test subjects, and you can manifest one of 3 variant abilities: telekinesis, pyrokinesis, or telepathy. And we'll get to those. Which would you take?
I don't know. They're all very cool. I would probably take telekinesis. But this is the kind of game where I'd sit down if I was playing and not running it, because I would probably be the one running this. But if I was going to play, I would let everyone else pick their powers first. Also, I play with a 4-person, like 1 person running and 3 people playing. I would just let everyone else pick first because I don't care. They're all cool. So
yeah, they are cool. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't play more than like 1 of each.
Well,
you know what I mean?
It's 1 to 4 players, so you really can't. Yeah, and it's like you have 2. You'll have 2 times. I mean, you could, but
You can have 30 if you want.
Yeah, but you're lame if you do that. Play the game. Yeah. Rules is written, bro.
But yeah, I mean, I would do the same thing as you. And if you took telekinesis, I would take telepathy. But yeah, I like them all. Next, subjects determine 2 traits and mark 20 body points. So that's basically your health. You got 20 points. So the thing that's crazy about that too is like you could instantly die.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you have to roll 2d10 for your, and then go under stress, and then when you do, so at least 2 turns you could. So subject damage is it's power level times d10. But like if you use a 3rd level power, roll a 3d10, you could just die on your first one. Like the odds of dying, the odds of getting out seem small in this.
I do like the rules, as simple as they are, really reinforce the narrative of like you're an experiment subject that is like even when we get to enhancement, it talks about like, oh, lot 13's not done with you yet. Like it's still, you're still gaining control of it. You're still evolving essentially. So yeah, you can just fucking hurt yourself, or if you die, like you're just gonna blow up everything around you because you're a walking volatile bomb essentially.
Yeah. I love that it feels like it's supposed to feel like when you think of that and you're like, fuck, like I could literally use my power once and just fucking die, or twice and die. And when I die, I like, so like the fire one, when we get to it, like their level 5 power is like all metal and like 100 meters melts. And you're like, you're fucking Nova Bomb. Like, so it's just like, you get to a point where it's like, man, do I use my powers? Do I just, what do you do? So I love that however light the mechanics are, and they're ultra light, still reinforce just like how fucked you really are, and like how powerful you really are, but also how dangerous. It's neat. I really like it. So traits. Traits are behaviors in which a subject is well practiced or versed. They are broad descriptors that can be applied to many situations to confer a +1. Traits can be advanced through enhancement. So a subject has a trait, for example, cool under pressure, which can apply to a +1 bonus to sneaking, right? Or lighten the mood, or they can make a valid argument. So traits are determined by the players and can be anything at all. So this is very super wide open. There's not like a huge list of traits here that you have to choose from. You just pick something cool that or something that you are well versed in. It could be literally anything, juggling, whatever.
Yeah.
But if I pick juggling, that could be not only physically juggling something, but it could also be juggling multiple
tasks, or absolutely. Yeah.
So it's interesting. I like that. And I think that I like the way it's written as well, because you could easily have this be too broad that people are like, wait, I don't understand. But like, I feel like this is written in such a way that it's like, no, I totally get like what this means, and like the 3 lines that are there. Enhancement, which is basically advancement. So lot 13 isn't done with you, just like you said earlier, and your gifts grow stronger, and they grow stronger fast as fuck. So after an encounter, so not even at the end of like the session, after every time you have any encounter at all, right? You recover 6 health and remove 6 stress, and you advance a trait +1 or add a new +1 trait, and reduce the stress cost of a power by 1. So that's the one that I was like, what is stress cost? And we'll get to that, I guess. Because when I look at powers, it says when a power is used, the subject stress takes stress equal to power level. So my assumption is when you use a level 3 power, you take 3 stress.
Right.
But every time you have an encounter, you, instead of 3 stress, you would take 2 stress instead.
That's how I read it as well. So
if you live long enough at your power level, you could like be using it without taking all of that extra stress.
Yeah, you could. Cool. You could get towards the end of this, like, because it is like an encapsulated like bottle adventure. Like the adventure in the book is all of it. So yeah, by the end of it, you could just be fucking blasting shit with your mind and totally okay.
Yeah, I dig it. All right, so I mean, this game is so light. Like, do you want to just read through the three things?
Absolutely.
Why don't you take telekinesis?
Also, first off, the art in this, really very good. There's
fantastic.
It's funny because there's so little and like there's so few pages in this, and all of the art, and I'm like, oh, this is really good art. Yeah. So TK, telekinesis, push, pull objects and people. The day you pushed a nurse against the wall with your mind as they tried to take your blood, you knew something was different. After they cleaned up the blood and teeth, I forgot about that part. After they cleaned up the blood and teeth, they put you on an IV drip that made you drowsy. You can make the blind shift or change the channel, but nothing beyond that. Then you thought to stop the drip. It took a while, but eventually you came back to life. They never knew what hit them when you tore the door off the room and threw it down the hall. Now you're out and you'll tear them limb from limb before they take you back. Great writing in this too. Like, what like an evocative scene. It's like, and also what a cool idea. It's like, yeah, you're telekinetic and they try to like put you under, but you've just enough to do something small. And you're like, oh, I'll stop the IV drip. It's a drip, you know? It's a very slow moving thing. Yeah. And the powers are, so moving from 0 to 5, 0 being move small objects, so you can just do it. 1, stop a projectile, very Neo in the Matrix. 2, move large object. 3, move a huge object. 4, crush. And 5, shred. You strip tissue 100 meters in radius. So if you die, you do that, and everything around you is just torn to shreds.
Yeah. Crazy. So good. And yeah, I love the art, and it also is like, that's definitely like a kid. Kid.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. The next one is Pyrokinesis. Again, another great piece of art. I like how even within this, there's like the file photo, like on the side. It says like file photo subject. I didn't even
notice that.
Just again, like the commitment to the bit, which I really love. So Pyrokinesis, PK, create, control, heat, and flame. You knew immediately that first injection burned something way inside you. All your worry and pain, all your mistakes and imperfections, cinders. Your old self is gone, and now you burn, and you burn hot. During your captivity, the company had you in special chambers designed to douse you at a moment's notice. They thought this protected them, but you knew better. Nothing can extinguish your flame, least of all a fancy sprinkler. Now you're out, and they can try, but they'll all burn before they take you back. Oh, it looks like that you back should be bumped up a little bit. Great piece of art. This person clearly on fire. And then the power matrix for them. So 0, heat object slowly. 1 is ignite small object / heat object fast. 2, ignite large object. 3, stream flame from hands. 4, flash incinerate organic material. And 5, supernova, so it melts metal in 100-meter radius. It's great. Yeah.
Next one's going to be TP, telepathy.
Yeah.
Let's communicate and control other minds. The noise started after they injected you with Lot 13. You heard their thoughts as they walked by the room, and they were so loud. When you asked the nurse to be quiet, they tiptoed out of the room and never spoke to you again. Yet the noise persisted. When it finally got to be too much, you screamed and blacked out. When you woke up, you were groggy, and there were people scrubbing blood off the walls. It was hard to form basic thoughts, but at least it was quiet. Recently, they started letting you surface from the void and asked you to do things. Find this person, make them do this. It was humiliating. You're glad you lashed out again. Now you're out, and you'll watch all of their heads pop back before they take you back. Or sorry, all their heads pop before they take you back. I'm a little sleepy boy, you know. Power matrix for this. Hear thoughts is 0. 1, send thoughts. 2, control animals. 3, control people, single command. 4, explode head. Heads just explode.
Yep.
And then 5, entropic wave, destroys minds 100 meters in radius. So like the way I interpret these is if one person dies, it's essentially a TPK.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
I mean, you're all going to be within 100 meters of each other, and no one's surviving any of these things. So
that's very true. That's very true. I I didn't even think about it that way. I guess
Yeah.
I don't know why I think in like if this was a movie, maybe it would center around the group as opposed to them individually. But I guess it would depend.
I would run as a TPK and be like, cool, we'll try again. Or, whatever.
I mean, that's very true. That's very true. Especially, well, it is, you do have the option for solo and, or one GM, one player. I don't know how I would really, with what's written here, run it solo, because there's not really like an oracle. There's nothing to roll on. You know what I mean? Like,
well,
you'd be.
I mean, there is like the adventure's all laid out. All the enemies are laid out. I would just roll for both. Like I would just be the character. I mean, and I'd write it as I went, and yeah,
I guess so. In order for it to be solo, I guess without you, like, writing and then doing the thing you're doing, I guess there would need to be more adventures for it. But I think this would be ideal. I think this would be ideal as one player, one GM.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
cool.
I feel like that would be the ideal way. So I kind of want to at least like walk through I know we don't do the adventures, but I really like, so they did practical application. This is the following scenario is intended for demonstration purposes. So it is like an encapsulated adventure. So this is the escape. But the other thing too is that like this isn't the entire game. Like you could have multiple.
Yeah.
Like I feel like whatever is happening, the way the game rules is written, like the scenario, it even says at the end, like it's designed, or on the itch page, it's designed to be like one session and you're done. But I like that there's a possibility of multiple scenarios in that, like in this scenario specifically, tell me if I'm wrong, you're escaping the lab, you're getting out, right? So I like that. That's the initial one. But you could have also just escaped already and been like hiding in like an apartment building. And then all of a sudden, like, windows break, flash bomb jumps in, and now it's like, get out of the apartment building. You know what I mean? It could also be a scenario where it starts to trigger your powers to go higher and higher. So there's multiple scenarios, but I do like that it's a very kind of like almost like raid kind of thing. You know what I mean? Where like, and I mean that like the movie, it's like it's just one location. I feel like, and that's the entirety of the game. But you could also, if you wanted to, stretch this out into like more of an adventure where like at the end of the adventure, you're like, you have an enhancement too. Like there's multiple ways you could run this. But I did kind of want to walk through, like not read the adventure entirely, but like kind of just hit on the points and talk about like how the enhancement works throughout the thing. What are your thoughts on that?
Let's see it.
So it kicks off with the variables. So basically there's an arc team. And then there's the enemy subject, which is you. So, because I love that it's written that you are the enemy in this practical application demonstration. And then there's a director, and that's the entire thing. So the point of this is to escape the lab. So you are the subject of Lot 13. You're getting out of the lab after you've been injected with the substance, and you're gaining these powers, right? So an alarm has sounded, an escape is happening, and you have to free yourself. So I dig that. So there is a level like level B3, the holding corridor. There's an encounter with the ARC team, right? And then after the encounter, you get an enhancement, right? So things happen. You encounter the ARC team. If you defeat the ARC team, we go back to enhancement, right? And then as soon as you encounter them in the stairs, you can recover 6 health after that encounter, remove 6 stress after that encounter, and advance a trait or add a new trait, right off the bat. So now you're at power level 2, right?
Right.
Oh, that's the other part about enhancement. Wait a minute. Where does it talk about increasing power level?
Enhancement, you increase a trait, and you reduce the cost of a power by 1.
But where does it talk about increasing the power level? I'm sure when a power is used, it takes stress.
Yeah.
Oh, did we just miss where it talked about when you actually get to increase your power level, or do you have all of these things?
You can always use all the powers.
Oh,
yeah, you start out being able to use all of the powers. It's mostly the detractor is the stress cost.
Right.
And as you like lower stress costs, like if you start out and you use a level 5 power or whatever, and you roll 5 d10s or whatever, and you take the damage,
like you're dead. Yeah,
you're fucked. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So it self limits immediately by that and the stress cost. So
yeah. Well, so my brain, I don't know why my brain just wrote this into it in a way that it didn't exist, but my brain had it being every time you get an enhancement, you go from like 0 to 1, and then 1 to 2, and 2 to 3. So as you escape, you're actually gaining power throughout your escape.
No, it's more that it's easier to use. But I think narratively, it looks like it would look like you're gaining power because there's powers you're just not going to use at first. But it's like 0. 0 you can always use essentially for free, right? Because the cost is 0. So
So that's where my brain went immediately. So you're right. Like you can use all of them, but technically like you could just burn out immediately.
Yeah.
So encounter 1, enhancement. You get to level 2, encounter 2, enhancement, encounter 2.5, whatever. So the reason I was going to read through this is that so you could see the power increasing, but that's not how my brain works. So we're not going to read through the adventure because we don't read through the adventures, but I do really enjoy that the way this is written is technically an adventure, but it is written as like a demonstration where it's a walkthrough of every encounter, what you do as you go through the encounters. So encounter 1, and it literally says enhancement, page 3, do that now. And then this next thing happens, encounter 2, enhancement, do that now,
I love just like if we can check out one page of the encounter. Other than that, the level 1, the top level of the lobby, when you encounter the director can use all variance powers from level 0s to 3. He can use all of them. And when you fight the director, who I just imagine is like this very like anime-esque villain who has all the powers, after you deal them 20 damage, they don't die. And our team throws a flashbang and enters and like. They attack, and it has this really great final room feeling to it,
Yeah.
And at one point in time, it says in there, and we don't have to read through the adventure, but like the director kind of, I think, maybe once or maybe more than once, talks to the player characters over the intercom. I remember seeing it somewhere, and I can't remember where.
Yeah. But, there's an area after encounter 3 where it says the director in very serious tones warns you that you will not escape this place. As property of Wuhan Baxter, you will be destroyed before being able to disseminate proprietary company knowledge.
I think it's a really great building that like villain moment. Like the whole time there's like, I know you can hear me. You're not going to escape here. Please return to your cells before we have to take drastic action. And you're just like, oh fuck, and then you meet the person behind the voice at the end, and you're like, oh fuck. Very, very cool.
And just the fact, if you think about the way that the adventure is written, spoilers for those out there too, one of the things you said is it uses all variance powers 0 to 3, right? Okay, so this guy has all of those abilities, and he's the leader of all of this. Was he a subject, or are the serums derived from him? Right? That's so cool. That's such a cool bit of embedded lore with no explanation really, that adds like such a flavor to what's happening. And I really love when those kind of things happen in adventures where you're just like, here's this cool thing, but like no explanation needed. Like, oh, he has the powers? How? Why? Like, what's going on?
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah.
So again, we're not going to read through the adventure, even though I said we were going to. It's fantastic. I love, like I said, in and of itself, it is a great adventure, but I love the way it's written to be a guide through how to play the game because it is extremely light. The game by itself is extremely light, and having this walkthrough adventure of like how to do stuff, when to advance, like what encounters look like, and like you said, like a really flavorful final boss room situation for what equates to like this capsule game is absolutely fantastically done. The art is great, everything all the way through. And then when we get to the end, as we said before, the last 2 pages, the subject intake forms, there are 3 character sheet. Well, this is like in the zine, it's the back cover. That's one thing I would do differently about the zine, I think, is that the way that they printed it, like what you should be able to do is tear this page out and the pages would be like back to back, but it's actually like the back cover and the back thing. So it's not like a thing that you could cut out and actually make the cards for, but you don't need to because they send you the cards and you could just print it from the PDF, which you also get.
In fact, if you do pull out that last page, you pull out the last page of the adventure. So
yeah, and you would tear off the back cover. So yeah. But yeah, like I think if they had like a piece of art like on the next page or something, and then like the last page completely was like the piece that you could actually tear out and use, that would make the zine just slightly more usable, I think, in the way that the PDF is meant to be. But yeah, and that's it. That's the entire thing. That's like we bullshitted for like 20 minutes in the beginning, and that's still the shortest thing we've ever done. Honestly, though, Animus, I meant to look this up and I completely forgot what it meant, because every one of the company things have like a Latin quote on them that are just like worse than the last one, like in the context of like like how fucked up it is. And this one says the mind imagines the future. Oh god, I love that so much, because it's a game about like mental powers. Yeah, it's good. It's good. So kick into the review scores of PSYKERS. Obviously this is a zine review. I mean, the entire thing is like 16 pages, and you know, the most of that's adventure. So for those that don't know how we do this, zines, we rate on 3 scores instead of 5, so max score of 30. We rate them on visuals, rule set, and vibe. So visuals are all the visuals, how it looks, cover, layout, art inside, everything. Rule set is the rule set. If it's adapted, do we like it? If it's not adapted, do we like it? And vibes are the overall vibes in the entire game. It's a combination of the rule set, the visuals, the feeling of the game. Basically, when you close that back cover, how bad you want to play it, for a max score of 30. So visuals. Thoughts on visuals?
Oh, visuals. What an amazing, like visually amazing game. Like the attention to detail, like the continuation of this theme of like kind of the employee handbook or like the subject files. Like the layout is very easy to read. The art is great. There's just even if you go to like the last page that has like the like character sheets essentially, where it says like lot _ test subject number, and in the underscore it says it's written like 13.
It's handwritten in. Yeah, handwritten.
It's such a testament to like, I mean, what would you say about the bit?
Just committing to the bit? Or
yeah,
what?
committing to the bit. I was blanking on the term, but yeah, it's such a testament to committing to the bit, and I think it makes it a lot easier for you to like get into this game as a like player character.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
This is a pretty high one for me because I think visually it's amazing. The cover looks great. That band that wraps around.
Oh, band. That's the word I was seeking earlier. And
We're
don't
all
forget the
forgetting
chase.
words
Don't
today.
forget the chase, you know?
Yeah. I don't have that version, and also almost no one else in the world will either. So I'm
Thanks,
not going
Jert.
to consider that. Yeah. Shout out Jert. I mean, always shout out Jert. But
yeah,
I don't know. I'm pretty high on this one, man. I'm like 8+ on this, easy. You know?
Easy. I mean, here's the thing too. Like when you look through the PDF, but when you actually flip through the book, like it just reinforces even more. So like, just like this is a spread of the book, and I just love, I don't know, even just like the font choice, the way it's laid out. I love that it has the, like I said, like the look of a report on it, where it has like the WB project report number as the footer on every page and stuff like that. It just continuously reinforces just everything, and it looks even better. The PDF is great, but it looks even better when it's physically in your hand and you're seeing what's going on. The print quality too of the zine is fantastic.
Oh,
I mean,
it's crazy how high quality of a print it is for something that's like, I think altogether like 14 pages or something.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then like just the dark blue, is it dark blue or black? Whatever, the threading in the back, it's not staples, it's threads. Like this is sewn. You know what I mean? Like, I love that it's a sewn binding instead of that. And like you said, the band. I mean, yeah, I'm at an easy 8. I mean, I don't know where we put this too, but the cards too. Yeah.
I'm almost at a 9, honestly, for this. I think it might be deserving of a 9. I mean, there's just so much going on without it being too much. It's just so lovely.
Yeah. I mean, at that point, we just start comparing things to other 9s that we've looked at, you know? And then what, like look at something, my thought would immediately jump to something like 9 Lives of Valhalla, you know? Would you put this in the same realm as that?
Absolutely. Oh, yeah, definitely.
I think here's the thing. I do agree, and I think this is one of the reasons why, is that, like, I think one of the things I love about 9 Lives of Valhalla is that, like, texture on the art.
Absolutely.
But the paper itself physically isn't texture like that. And this actually has, like, well, especially the Chase version, actually has like a texture and stuff. Yeah, let's go 9 on this. I think it's fantastic. I think this is a perfect example of like this versus something like Below Dwelling Sewer Mutants. We love visually, like the art, the pop, like the kind of like I don't want to say art punk style, but like so jam-packed with color and stuff. This is almost the antithesis of that, in that like it's white, black, columned, everything like that. But for what it's trying to succeed at, I think it succeeds at it perfectly. And I think that's the point, is that we don't need to compare it to others. It just succeeds at what it wants to be doing perfectly. So yeah, 9 works for me. Rule set.
Great. I think it's exactly what it needs to be. I think the rules like reinforce this like volatile human psychic weapons traveling through an underground facility. I think it's so minimal, but I think that that's obviously a strength of it. I mean, do one thing and do it well. The like kind of like Fallout death rule where it's like you die and everything around you is gonna fucking die too. There's just a lot of good here.
Yeah.
I also like the moving the metric of success to be wider than like in the company, so that you get that feeling of success, and also because in this game like succeeding also like is going to cost you sometimes.
Yes. I think I really love that like that you get stressed when you fail, but you get stressed when you succeed too. And, like, stress is what will kill you. So it's just like, why not have success be more likely? Because you're gonna get stress anyway. I dig it. What are your thoughts?
Oh man, I honestly don't know. I mean, I'm still at like a heavy 8, I think. You know?
Yeah, easy. I mean, that's where my brain went, so let's just do it. Again, we said this before, like, especially, I think, I don't know if you think the same way I think. When books, I compare them a lot more to other books.
Yeah.
And when I think of them, but with zines, I think of them more as just like, what it's trying to do in and of itself. You know what I mean? And
yeah, I mean, with a book, you have so much more space to achieve like something, and with zines, it's such a like limited space to achieve like a specific thing. And a lot of the ones that we look at, because we do the ones that we like, do those things really, really well. I mean, I think we have valid criticisms and maybe some invalid criticisms about all of them. Because we're humans. Yeah. But
we're perfect.
We're perfect in every way. We're not dumb idiots at all.
Not even a little bit.
I forgot where I was going, but yeah, I fuck with this game heavily.
Yeah. Oh, the zine thing you were saying. Yeah, I think that. Yeah.
It's very rare that I compare two zines. I mean, also because they just do such like imagine comparing this to Acid Mages, you know, like
wildly different. Like you said, it's a smaller space. So like it's more about, to me, I compare books to other books because they have so much space to try to accomplish what they're doing. But in a zine, it's more of just like, what do I imagine the mission statement of this zine was, and does it accomplish it in these 3 things? And that's the thing for me. So yeah, I think the rule set's an easy 8. I think I'm trying to imagine what I would add more. I think if there was a couple extra pages, I would potentially expand the trait section just a little bit more, maybe some examples a little bit more, things like that. You know what I mean? Like
minor stuff.
There's minor bits, but like an easy 8, I think, for this. Vibes.
Oh, pretty high.
Yeah. I mean, I love this fucking game, and I love this fucking zine.
I really, really like this
We
game.
have to stop giving every zine we do fucking 8s and 9s, though. We have to
but we only look at really good zines.
It's very true. It's very true. Where you at?
It's not our fault that all the people that we know that make zines do a good job at it. Like, that's their fault.
Very true. That's very true.
Like, do worse, y'all.
Well, and the other thing too is like we actively, like, if we look at something and we go, we don't really like this, we just don't do it because we don't want to be mean on the internet. We'll be critical of things that we like because I think that's important. That's half the reason we do this, is because I think a lot of people end up in an echo chamber and hearing like, hey, you know, this could be tweaked a bit is a good thing. So 8 or 9. What were you going on, Vibes?
Oh, I'm at 9 for this.
Same.
I love this. I like the themes it creates. I like how the rules reinforce that. I like how the structure of the zine itself really like continues on with that Wuhan Baxter, like almost employee handbook, reinforcing where we are. Like, this is a very good one.
Yeah.
I'm also just like, I'm a zine guy, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, I like when we go over books. I like a lot of the books. But fuck, I love a zine. I love a minimalist game.
Yeah. Every time I get something and it's 300 pages, I just don't want it.
Yeah. When we look at the game, it's like 300 pages. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. I mean, so stop making games that have too much shit in them. Because here's the thing: almost every game I've read that's 300 pages could be 50 pages and has 250 pages to shit.
There is a lot of fluff in a lot of those like longer games. I'm like, wow, you really didn't need all of this. And like, I feel like sometimes with some of the really long games, there's a lot of stuff in there that I don't feel is super necessary. And then there's stuff that's missing because there's just so much other stuff. I feel it's almost expanded in the wrong direction. But with like scenes where you have limited space, it's like, okay, we have to like hammer out the necessities for running this experience, you know?
Yeah. I just mean, like, if a book gives me 12 classes, please get rid of 8 and put it in the second book. Just give me 4. Like,
that's actually so valid. Like, I love a lot of classes, but put it in an extension. Yeah, or put it in the subsidiary stuff, and like, give us a main lineup.
It's just, it's a completely different mind. Like, I'm of the mindset where like, just give me the minimum of what I need to run the game so I can run the game. And if I like it, I'll engage more with it. And then there's people that are like, everything I've ever thought about this concept, I need to put into one giant book all at one time. You don't.
I think it's hard too, because it's such a DIY community that when you lay out every potential eventuality of your game, it makes it really hard to like hack your game, create custom stuff. I mean, think of like 5e custom content, like DM's Guild and shit. Like, all of it sucks, right? Or it's like, it's totally fucked because it's an overdeveloped game. But if you want to adapt this, like, you could, because it's so simple.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think while reviewing it, we hacked it like twice. You know what I mean? Like, I can imagine doing this in 3 different ways. Anyway, yeah, we love it. We love Logan Dean stuff. The company's fantastic. Definitely go check out the review of the company. I would love to, and we will at some point be playing. Stop yelling. Either and or. Probably both the company and PSYKERS here on the stream, because I would love to play both, and both are like really quick that we could easily do side quests of both of those. So expect that in the future. Expect anything else that Logan Dean puts out in the future to be seen on the show too. And Logan Dean is also part of Blister Critters, which will be dropping soon on Kickstarters.
Right. He is.
Yeah.
Is he project manager? Is that what he's doing?
Yeah. Like, a lot of the behind the scenes stuff of what's going on. So definitely check out our interview with the guys from Blister Critters. Expect to see them sooner than later. And check out all the Logan Dean stuff. That is our episode for today. Back ZineQuest stuff. Support small creators. Buy zines. Go buy shit from Space Penguin Inc. Dirt's a shit. Logan Dean is great.
And we'll see you guys 20 more times in the next month.
Yeah.
So tune in.
Yeah. I really think that the next, like, it's only Thursday. We have Friday and Saturday off before another episode, and I think it's the longest break we've had in 3 weeks.
It is actually the longest break.
So that's it. That's our episode. Find us at our Linktree / The Weekly Scroll. You can find us at Weekly Scroll pretty much everywhere else. Weekly _ do whatever. Subscribe to our YouTube. Follow all of our shit. Have a wonderful day. We'll talk to you later. Bye.